Let's face it, Wonder Woman 1984 sucked ass. But where did this one fail where the first one succeeded? Today, in everything you need to know in 5 minutes, we're going to take a look at the story of Wonder Woman. Roll the clip. So to look at why the first Wonder Woman was a success, we have to take it back to the hero's journey, where a call to a journey forces our Wonder Woman into the unknown. She meets allies, she faces challenges and changes with the help of her friends. More importantly, she falls down and eventually faces her greatest fears to learn something new about herself and become a new person following the hero's journey. In the case of Wonder Woman, it's a goddess who journeys into the world to become a woman, and in the end she becomes a Wonder Woman, the known, unknown, and known. In the first act of Wonder Woman, the theme was clear as Diana longs to break into her own and find a world beyond the Amazon, but is warned of the horrors in the world of men. The catalyst being Steve, forcing her with the dilemma of breaking out into a new world or to listen to her mother and stay. It is this dilemma that gives a sense of bravery, strength, and no pun intended, a sense of wonder. In the first act of Wonder Woman 1984, the theme is to always seek the truth and to live it. So far so good. Her catalyst is finding a rock and blowing on it. Of course, Steve shows up with her dilemma now being to live a lie with Steve or to continue on being Wonder Woman. However, she doesn't really make a choice here. She's just enamored with the idea and goes along with it, like a BTS fangirl. The transition through the acts was so deliberate in the first one, where Wonder Woman 1984 is extremely messy, especially trying to tie in the parallels of Barbara and Max, who unlike Diana have no powers, but lust and long for it. Amongst the dazzle and the lure, someone forgot to write a good journey, which made the movie less submersive and enjoyable. Then comes the second act, which is pivotal to any hero's journey. They need to discover the new world and journey along with the help of friends, much like how Luke met Han or how Simba met Timon and Pumbaa. In the first Wonder Woman, Diana even does the whole pretty woman dress-up montage, as she sees for the first time the world of war and the darkness of men that her mother warned her about. But she also sees the good of men and finds those who believe in what she does. Then comes the exchange, where Diana shows her friends wonder and bravery by crossing no man's land. In return, Steve and her allies show her a world of love, friendship, and more. It is great scenes like those that are memorable and will set up the solid storming of the castle with friends in the third act. For reference, think Mulan when her friends cross-dressed to enter the palace and save the emperor. Not that one, get out of here. That one, yes. Fast forward to 1984, Diana explores a life with Steve and goes on dates in 1984. She gets to live the moments that she longed for since his sacrifice, and of course get her closure that she deserves. Undoubtedly, this storyline is the best part of the story, as we get to see the human side of Diana. But instead, we get another hour of overstuffed plots, weak villain development, which was just boring and outright lazy. There also weren't much parameters set on the game of the Dreamstone. We get a bunch of big effects, none of which hold much meaning or as memorable as crossing no man's land, which is so iconic in the first Wonder Woman. Then we get to the third act of Wonder Woman 1984, which is the part I kinda like. It started to resemble a hero movie again. Much like the first Wonder Woman, Steve becomes her catalyst to change into her final form. We get the closure for Diana she deserves as she learns to let Steve go. Once again, she uses her faith in humanity as her strength to defeat her foe. In the first Wonder Woman, she had a clear parameter of the game, with the objective to defeat Ares and become the god killer her father made her out to be. In Wonder Woman 1984, having to let Steve go for the second time was pretty much predictable, not to mention the array of questions of what happens to that stranger's body after Steve leaves. Also, what if people didn't reverse their wishes? Does Max reversing himself means all the previous wishes were annulled? There were once again no parameters set on the game. Also, Max suffers no consequences. His story arc should have completed with the death of his son, and that should have been the antagonist's revelation of his sins. Also, was anybody else thinking why his son was Chinese? No? Just me? Alright, moving on. She releases a balloon in the end to signify the letting go of Steve, and that was to be our tearjerker moment. But I think a lot of people will agree that it fell flat. Trying to catch the flow in the last 2.5 hours of this movie has just been exhausting. There was a lot to unpack in 1984, but none of it really stuck by the end. But hey, the Linda Carter cameo was awesome though, wasn't it? Overall, Wonder Woman 1984 wasn't that bad, but people had high expectations, and for a movie that became such a mess, I think it could have done better. What are your thoughts on Wonder Woman 1984? Leave a comment below and let me know. And until next time, keep that popcorn warm for me.